Welcome back to Theme Park Wizard. In today's video, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the people mover, or a potential people mover system that I think should be implemented in the Disney parks, but not just for the parking structure, but for outward areas as well. Let's get right into it. Alright, so I was watching a video, Orange Grove 55's video, and Vash Guy and Disney George, a family man, Disney George, and they were talking about people movers. They're talking about the trams. The trams are not operational, and how, what if they come back charged, or what if they come back monetized? And in that whole conversation, Vash Guy said, what if there's just a people mover system that goes from the parking garage to the parks? Almost kind of like with Westcott Center, they had dual people movers meeting in the plaza. And I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. But what if we took it a step further? Walt Disney World has 27,000 acres, about, right? Plenty of land to build parking garages, new parks, new hotels, and just have open space, do whatever we want. Disneyland Resort is pretty landlocked, right? Pretty landlocked, even with Disneyland Forward and the rezoning. They own a lot of land, unused theme park land, but still, it's still landlocked. We're surrounded by residential neighborhoods, so we're eventually going to run out of land. Totally, we don't have open space to just build on. That's to demolish something, right? So Disney, even with the Disneyland Forward stuff, has to use their land efficiently, very, very efficiently. I mean, just look, with Mickey Mouse Runaway Railway, they demolished the entertainment building, but they're building a multi-story building to accommodate the attraction. And also that back of house stuff, maybe the entertainment or other offices atop, because they're losing that space and there's nowhere off-site to put it, or they don't have any more land to put it. And so the base of that land, obviously Disney doesn't want to use that land towards parking garages, right? They have Eastern Gateway land that's earmarked for a parking structure. Several thousand spaces, that's great. But other lands, I mean, eventually that's going to be too much. If they put a third park, that might not be enough, right? So this is when, and also just to be greener, this is when Disneyland should encourage the use of public transit or carpooling, transit, rideshare. I know they have some of this stuff already, but they can really push this big time, especially if they, with Disneyland Forward, let's say they put a new park or something, or even just the massive expansions that they're planning, they can really do this by adding a people mover system, like Vash Guy was saying on Orange Grove show about, I think it was about last week. But instead of just a parking structure, they should make it an actual transportation tool. The people mover, imagine this. Because parking problems are going to rise. Think about it. In 2019, Toy Story lot and Mickey and Friends and all the parking structures, they constantly filled up. You know, at Disneyland today, we constantly tweet, parking is at capacity right now. Please check back for more info later. And then it would be it would take a couple hours, not be at capacity again, but that would happen on the most random days. Meaning there's already no demand, too much demand for parking. Even if Disney built like somewhere in the Platinum Triangle area, or built another parking structure or parking lot, or at least a few parking spaces somewhere in downtown Anaheim or just a few miles away, and built a people mover from that lot, let's say the Platinum Triangle area, which is kind of by Angel Stadium. Let's say they built a parking lot or structure there and built a people mover all the way in to the park. That can really help alleviate the parking thing. And they can make, but this would be like a park and ride type of thing. This would encourage people to park all the way over there, and they charge maybe a minimal fee of $10, not $25, because you don't want to charge $25 because you're trying to get people to park over there, not, you know, not park, just, you want to have an incentive for them to park over there. So if you can't charge the same price as you would in Mickey and Friends and Toy Stores. The whole goal is for people to park this new offsite lot and take the people mover in to the park. But the people mover would also have other stops. So maybe it can be extended through downtown Anaheim or some other portions. It can be like an actual kind of transit line, like a metro line almost like. And I'll give you some precedent for this. Disneyland Paris and Japan, Tokyo Disney Sea. Tokyo Disney Sea charges for the monorail because under Japanese rules, they the way it's operating, it's classified as a transit system. So they under Tokyo's laws, they have to charge for the monorail. Disneyland Paris. When I went to Disneyland Paris 10 years or so ago, we took the train in. There's a dedicated line. Well, not dedicated, when it had other stops too, but it was like the Disneyland Paris line basically, and it ended at Disneyland Paris, and a whole bunch of people would go and take the train up to Disneyland Paris. I'm sure there's definitely parking lots and stuff at the resort, but I feel like a significant amount of people take the train to that one, and also Tokyo. There's metro trains to that park as well, and Universal Japan. So, and even Disney World, right? Brightline is building a high-speed rail station close to Disney Springs, I believe, or in Disney Springs, which then you can get off and then take other transportation to the parks. But there's a demand. There's soon Disney can't build parking structures. You can't use all the land for parking structures at the Disneyland Resort. It's just too landlocked. Disney has to start thinking of other ways for people to arrive to the parks. You know, people mover, not just with stops at the Mickey and Friends parking garage, but out of the Disney bubble into Anaheim to encourage people to, you know, locals. I know there's a lot of locals even. People are going to drive, right? And people are not going to not ever stop parking the parking structures. People are, let's say they're coming from the San Fernando Valley, San Diego. Obviously not going to take a train, unless you take like Metrolink or something, or Amtrak, but you're not going to take a train most likely from San Diego or San Francisco to go to the park for one day, right? But for those people who want to make a long weekend out of it, this Disney People Mover can go to Arctic. Arctic is the high-speed rail station, or the new rail station that Anaheim built, and it stands for Anaheim Regional Intermodal Transportation Center or something like that. And if Disney built their People Mover to connect with that station and provided incentives for people to take the Amtrak trains from San Francisco or San Diego in, or Metrolink trains from Ventura or LA, all 5 Southern California counties, if they took the Anaheim line in there, then they can encourage people to, again, ditch their car, take the train into the resort, and take that People Mover dedicated Disneyland line to Disneyland. And again, there's a precedent for this too. There's a new OC streetcar being built currently, and there's been several iterations of it. And one of the iterations, a very early iteration a few years back, had a Disneyland stop. It was supposed to be in the Eastern Gateway parking garage for the city of Anaheim, and Disney were fighting over it. And on the ground floor was going to be like rideshare for Uber, Lyft, like there is right now on Harbor Boulevard, will be in this parking garage. And there was going to be, there's debate for an OC streetcar stop. One of the issues, I think Anaheim wanted Disney to fund that station, and I don't think Disney wanted to. I think that was one of the contentions there. But anyway, the line got changed, and it's still being built. So that's another solution. Maybe as an extension, Disney and Anaheim can revisit this OC streetcar and have it extended up to Disneyland into the Eastern Gateway parking garage, and as another additional non-car way for people to get to the resort. It's going to be very, very important in the future, especially as Disneyland grows, that they cannot have everyone just driving in like that, or else they'll never find a place to park. And again, would you want to have space for a third park used up? Like, let's say, with the Toy Story lot, let's say there's a third park there, right? I think Orange Grove in one of his videos, he said it's like 85 acres. So, but what if you have to use 10 of those acres for a big parking structure? Then the park just shrinks automatically by 10 acres. You can, instead of using the whole 85 acres for theme park and back of house for the theme park. You don't want to use some of that for parking a lot. If you don't have to, if other people can go in and be, use a greener form of transportation, a train, people mover, to get into the park. So I think Disney should definitely build a people mover, but definitely from Mickey and Friends to the, if they don't want to bring the trams back, or they want to get rid of the trams, but they should build a people mover from Mickey and Friends to the Central Plaza, but then also to Toy Story, so it connects all lots there. That way they can get rid of the buses and the trams. They have fewer cast members to operate, so if they don't want to pay cast members to drive the trams, they can just pay 1 or 2 to operate make sure the people movers are working, and that would get rid of the trams and the buses. And then I encourage them to expand it out, and for any stops outside of the Disney bubble, that's when they can just charge like a transit system people. They can just charge maybe $5 or $10 to ride the people mover into the resort. Again, it can't be $25 because you don't want to charge the same as parking, because it has to be an incentive for you to ditch your car and take the people mover into the resort. But what do you guys think? Do you think Disney will never have any parking problems, and they shouldn't look for other forms? They shouldn't look at other forms of transportation to bring people into the park, or encourage people to use other forms of transportation. And again, it's going to take some working with the city, but this pandemic has helped mend Disney and Anaheim's relationship. So I hope this would be the time to jump on that if I were Disney. In fact, I'd try to sneak it into the Disneyland Forward discussions, or maybe after that. But some kind of provision to allow transit. People take transit into the stadium. Again, it could be a City of Anaheim and Disney thing, because City of Anaheim just want too much traffic on their streets. If they can encourage people, free passes or something, or maybe half off Disney ticket, I don't know, something to encourage people to take this new people mover that they built. Maybe Anaheim would even fund half the people mover to encourage people to fund the parking garage or something. I don't know. But what do you guys think? Do you think Disney's traffic problems will be totally fine? They don't need any other forms of traffic, and they should keep building parking garages? Or do you think that they're going to need some other forms of transportation in the future, like a people mover, to bring people into the resort and encourage people to go green and ditch their cars, so there won't be any parking or be less of parking or traffic problems? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video and like these kind of opinion pieces, like this video and press the thumbs up button and subscribe for more theme park updates. And as always, have a fantastic day.